Long ago, there lived a fierce Greek king named Atagenas. His courage and innovative military strategies led him to many victories and fueled his insatiable thirst for wealth. He had amassed a great fortune through his conquests and was feared by many. However, despite his success, he was never satisfied. He always yearned for more. One day, he heard of a magical bird that could make him invincible in battle. He summoned his army and set out on a journey to find it, leaving behind his kingdom and all his wealth. He was determined to find the bird and become the most powerful ruler in the world. The bird was said to be found atop Mount Olympus. Atagenas and his army traveled for many months, losing men to illness and exhaustion. When he finally reached Olympus, the snow had covered the landscape, and yet more men were lost to the cold. During a particularly brutal snowstorm, Atagenas and his men were forced to seek refuge in a nearby cave. As they approached the shelter, they were met with the sound of a woman's laughter and the sight of shimmering eyes lurking in the shadows. Atagenas also detected the faint hissing of snakes nearby. As he looked around for the source of this sound, he saw many of his men petrified, with looks of fear on their faces. Suddenly, a woman with snakes for hair and the body of a serpent jumped out of the darkness and slithered towards them. The tactician in Atagenas told him that this was not a fight he could win, so he and his men began to retreat. From behind, he could hear screams, but then there was silence. When they were able to regroup, Atagenas realized how many men he had lost, but he was not dissuaded. They would continue their quest. Upon reaching the summit of Mount Olympus, they spotted a stunning bird perched on a tree branch. The sun's rays reflected off its silver feathers as it sang a melodious tune. As the men approached cautiously, a chimera suddenly appeared, breathing fire. Atagenas' men diverted the chimera's attention, while he and his remaining soldiers made their way to the bird. However, as Atagenas reached out to grab the bird, it screeched and flew away, drawing the chimera's attention to them. With nothing left to fight for, Atagenas and his remaining men retreated and started to make their way back to his kingdom. They had to retrace their steps, this time avoiding the obstacles that had claimed so many of his men. Finally, arrived back at the kingdom, only to find their entry blocked by guards. When Atagenas announced himself, he was met with laughter from the guards, who told him that the kingdom now had a new ruler, and he was not welcome back. The remainder of Atagenas' men abandoned him, pledging allegiance to the new king. As Atagenas walked away alone, he realized that his pursuit of the bird was a mistake. His greed had caused him to lose everything. He had forgotten the age-old wisdom of one bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. His fixation on what he did not have had blinded him to what he did have. He vowed to live the rest of his life with this newfound wisdom and to be content with what he had.